new earth is being born. A world nested in loving kindness, justice, peace, and a sense of oneness, of unity consciousness.
Hello and welcome to Sonic Sorcery, where we create magic with sound. I'm Stefan Key, your Sonic Sorcerer. And in this video I have something super exciting to share with you. I'm going to show you how I am applying Solfeggio frequencies in my productions, how I sneak them in, so to say. And the example I'm going to give you is a recent remix I've been working on for my dear brother Ben Temple Step. He's an awesome producer and he invited me to make a remix for his album for this single here called A New Vision, which is a beautiful track. You should check it out. I would play it for you, but I would get copyright issues, so I put a link in the description for you to check it out. It's an awesome track. He's an amazing producer. I really love his stuff. Very deep and soulful and shamanic. And he's working together with Darpan, and Darpan has created this super beautiful transmission. It's basically a manifest for the new earth, and he's channeling beautiful wisdom. And I'm so honored to be able to work with this material. And I'm going to show you how I did it. So let's hop into Ableton. So here we are in Ableton 11, and this is how the project looks. You know, basically, when you make a remix, you get the stems, right? So that will be stuff like this, the hang, the charango, the sansula, the synth up, and obviously a lot of percussions. But I love to use my own percussions, so I didn't include the percussions in this version of the remix. And then the original vocals, of course, from Darpan. And the original track was in 114 BPM, I think, and I switched it to 111 for various reasons. One of them being that I really like the tempo more. So what you need to do, of course, is first you need to warp the vocals and warp all the instruments. You know, that's what I did. In general, there's not much of the original material left when I'm doing a remix, you know, because that's what I find really exciting about doing a remix, is to be able to create something unique, something special that has your signature to it. And this is what I do when I do a remix. So I add a lot of stuff and just keep the most important parts. In this case, obviously it was the vocal, right? So basically that's a transmission from Darpan. And I wanted to have the sounds really supporting the message, you know, so having the vocals mainly in the center and having the main focus there and all the other elements just supporting that. So that is our lead element. And here you can see I have a whole solfeggio section, right? And we will have a look at that in a bit. Maybe we're gonna have a listen to the track real quick, and then I walk you through the different elements. So you see it has a long intro, and in general it's like a 10-minute track. So let's have a listen. So we start with the solfeggios. By the way, all the sounds that you're hearing here, they're all part of an upcoming solfeggio template that I'm going to release soon. So you get a little premiere sneak peek already on that. So we have the frequencies at the beginning.
We live in extraordinary times.
And that's Darpan talking. And we have the string pad here, part of the solfeggio template.
At such a rapid rate.
And we have some percussions here. I love organic percussions, as you can tell by now.
It may soon be unrecognizable to most of us alive today.
Now there's the hang, that's from the original, but I chopped it up a little bit, changed the timing to give it more like an intro
All
vibe.
attempts to handle these issues with the old mindset are doomed to an awful and protracted failure. As strange as this may seem, it is actually very good news. These are ideal conditions for the one element which promises a dynamic solution.
More atmospheres to make it sound more mystical.
Planet today. The radical transformation of consciousness. These conditions constitute precisely the right
Now the bass line is coming in.
for radical transformation.
That's from the original as well.
Human consciousness is notoriously asleep when things are comfortable, predictable, and certain.
And as the track is building up, I'm adding more percussions.
Always involved facing the unknown and the very real possibility of annihilation. We find ourselves at a unique point in the evolution of human consciousness. A tumultuous time of unprecedented change and transformation.
Building towards the drop.
What is being called for is a new vision.
Now we have the bass drum. And this synth line from Diva.
One which embraces coexistence and co-creation over domination and exploitation. A quantum leap in the awareness of how we see ourselves.
The filter automation here on the synth.
This is a planet in transition. A new Earth is being born.
Now
world
a
nested
breakdown.
in loving kindness, justice, peace, and a sense of oneness, of unity consciousness.
And the music reflecting his words. Peaceful vibe.
As this new Earth comes into being, the associated chaos and disorder will pose some major challenges. Simultaneously, wonderful new experiences will also be occurring. People will start to be filled with the idea of awakening.
That was for me a key moment to bring in the kick again.
More and more synchronicity will abound in our lives. Deep happiness will overflow in our lives at the strangest times. As we feel the presence of a magnificent, divine self arising.
Here, bring in a new Solfeggio frequency also.
The Earth is arriving in a new part of the galaxy, something it does every 26,000 years.
Our bass line is coming in.
Very high frequencies exist in this part of the galaxy, and these frequencies are being absorbed into the world of matter, catalyzing a vibrational shift to lift and evolve all beings very quickly. Powerful changes are also occurring with our sun. Unprecedented coronal mass ejections. High-frequency solar magnetic winds are being released into space and flooding the Earth. The redistribution of electromagnetic fields on the Earth will accelerate profound changes in our lives. This may cause feelings of disorientation, confusion, and fear, as old patterns of negativity and limitation are released and new higher energies take hold. It is nothing less than a dimensional shift from one modality of consciousness to another, involving the conscious ingression of higher frequencies into the third dimensional plane.
So as you can tell, it's very ambient, the whole track.
We are moving towards a new world, a new level of reality, in which the consciousness of love, peace, and spiritual wisdom will prevail. Once we have learned how to anchor these higher frequencies, the result will be the co-creation of a new Earth, one in which we will live in peace and harmony, one in which we will experience an all-pervading oneness with the totality of life, where the Earth herself will be perceived as our mother. Fear, hunger, poverty, and crime will be made obsolete. Our natural birthright will be equality, justice, respect, and abundance for all. Listen to your intuition. Tune into your dreams as your eyes open.
Yeah, and now is the outro. It's the end of his transmission. And slowly fading out. Okay, so that was the track, and yeah, as I said, the intention was to just basically support sonically what Darpan is beautifully transmitting here. And I instantly had the feeling to work with Solfeggio Frequencies because of the relationship between the Solfeggio Frequencies and the idea of the higher consciousness and the new earth, because the Solfeggio Frequencies are frequencies that support and trigger higher states of consciousness, harmony, and resonance. So that was a no-brainer for me to use it. And let's have a look at the Solfeggios for a second. So let's solo them. And the first instance we have here is the sub, and that's basically just 111 Hertz frequency. And my favorite cloud seed reverb with a little chorus delay on it to give it a little bit more movement. And now this one is coming in as well. And this one are the angel frequencies 111, 222, 333. also running through a cloud seed chorus, but also an LFO is modulating the fade. And if you don't know fade to gray, it's an amazing effect. Like if we look under the hood, what fade to gray is doing, it's basically an EQ and a delay. And if you increase the fade, it increases the delay, but it's also taking out most of the frequencies. So it's basically like a filter delay, you could say, and it's automated to give it some more movement. So it has the sensation that the frequencies are coming in and out now, you know, like basically they're fading in and out. So those are those frequencies. And then what's coming in here, that's a bit more complex, but it's a really nice combination of the Solfeggio frequencies, which is root chakra, heart chakra, and crown chakra. And they are all modulated by LFOs, each one differently, and they basically trigger the different oscillators so that different frequencies go on and off really quickly. And they are pulsed in a rate of 2.58 hertz, which is also a harmonic of 528 hertz, which is DNA activation. And then the other ones are more like musical, so it's like 1 bar and half a bar and all 3 bars. And this is how they get turned on and off. So this one is pulsing at 528, like really quickly, which is kind of like a theta wave isochronic tone, you could say. You know, like this is basically using Solfeggio frequencies as isochronic tones, pulsing them at 5.28 hertz, like really quick, on and off the volume of this operator here, and then just those LFOs turning on and off the different oscillators, excuse me, to bring in and out different frequencies. And this creates this nice rhythmic, pulsing, hypnotic effect. And then we have another one coming in here, which is basically just the heart chakra and the DNA activation, the throat chakra, 396 and 528 with my chorus delay here. And that's it, basically just another layer. And yeah, that's it for the Solfeggios. So the thing is, in order to make everything work with the Solfeggios, remember in the last video, if you're new to Solfeggios, I put a link here now to the other videos. But remember that the tuning, in order to work musically with Solfeggios, has to be 444. So basically, what I did is I used a plugin called Sound Shifter. And that's a wave plugin, and basically you can change the pitch of something, right? So you have the source frequency. In this case, it's the tuning 440 hertz, the standard tuning that the remix was in. And I wanted it to be in 444 hertz so that it is harmonious with all my other sounds from the Solfeggio template. So basically, all the original sounds I had to sound shift in order to make them work in 444. I could have also just, you know, like increased here the fine tuning and just go like 15 up in the sense, not in the semitones, but in the sense, 15 cents up is also shifting a 440 hertz sound into 444 hertz. I can demonstrate that real quick, maybe with the hang. So I solo the hang. Now you can see it's at 444 hertz, right? If I turn off the sound shifter, now it's more at 440. But if I go into the hang clip and go here to the cents, and I put it up 15 cents, now if I change the reference to 444, it should show also 444. See? So that's the same thing, you know, like if you don't have the sound shifter, don't worry, it's just a convenient way. But if your original material is in 440 and you want to tune it to 444, just go up by 15 cents here and you will be good. So that's what I basically did with all the original sounds. I didn't have to do that with all these sounds because they already came in 444 hertz because they are part of the Solfeggio template that I created, which will come out soon. And I recorded a lot of like singing bowls, crystal glasses, Tibetan bowls, pads, and stuff like that to create a beautiful ambient template. And I used a lot of sounds in this journey, so they were already tuned to 444 hertz. And that was a little introduction into how I work with Solfeggio frequencies in my productions. I always sneak them in. I'm gonna make another video at some point where I show you another way, but I think it's really, really powerful, you know, it really makes it different. And I think, you know, like, especially if you play that at an event where there is a lot of people, it will definitely have a different effect than if they are not there, because we are all like resonators, and if one person is receiving it and then resonating at that frequency, the other person is also, and then it's creating this bubble of magic. And that's why I love also to use it in dance music, because yeah, when people are in this kind of environment, or like in this kind of gathering, sharing the energies, then it just gets amplified, and that's what we wish for, so that the frequency is raising and everybody is having a great time and healing and creating magic with sound. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are supporting me on the Academy as an adept or above, you will be able to download this project file, except the vocals. I don't have the right for the vocals, so I have to take them out. But everything else you can have. And so yeah, I wish you have fun, and you see this as an inspiration to create your own Solfeggio downtempo ambient track. And thanks again for watching, and see you in the next video.
This is a planet in transition. A new Earth is being born. A world nested in loving kindness, justice, peace, and a sense of oneness, of unity consciousness.